Wow. Wow. Like, I am lost for words. Like, this has got to be one of the best MMA fights I've seen in a long time. This was not an MMA fight. This was a fight. Like, these dudes were fighting each other. Like, this was a fist, like a proper fight. They were trying to, like, seriously knock each other's heads off. I do not know how none of these dudes got knocked out, because in the first, like, the first two rounds were probably the best rounds that I've seen in a long time in an MMA fight. It was so exciting, it was so entertaining. I wish this fight would have happened in front of a crowd, because the crowd would have been cheering like crazy. They would have been fucking going bananas. They would have been going crazy the way this fight was going. Like, the pace of this fight, the first two rounds were some of the best two rounds I've ever seen since I've been watching MMA. Like, those first two rounds, these guys were going head to head, toe to toe, throwing bombs, both of them. Both of these dudes. Dustin and Hooker, both of these dudes were throwing bombs. And they were landing flush. And they were all cut up. Like, I wish this fight would have happened in front of a large crowd, because I think that the people, the fans, would have been going crazy. If you guys didn't know, this fight did not happen in front of a crowd because of the whole, lockdown and stuff, the pandemic, which sucks, because this fight deserved a massive crowd. These guys definitely won, a bonuses fight of the night. Both of these dudes showed tremendous heart. The first two rounds, they were going after each other. I'm so glad I stood up. I was thinking, should I watch this fight? Should I not? I was actually going to skip the fight. I'm so happy I didn't skip the fight. I'm happy I stayed up and watched the fight, because this was worth it. Because this was hands down one of the most entertaining fights in MMA and the UFC that I've seen in a while. This fight probably is going to win fight of the year. It could be. It's definitely a contender. It's definitely a contender of fight of the year. The first two rounds were epic, and then in the second half of the fight, they were so tired. Like, I got tired looking at them. Like, they were so exhausted, because the pace that they were fighting the first two rounds. Like, if you have not seen this fight, I really hope you guys see this fight, because even if you're not an MMA fan, I really hope you should watch this fight, because it's so entertaining. The first two rounds, they were fighting in such a pace that I thought that I couldn't believe it. I haven't seen a dudes fight like that in the MMA in a while. But after that, they exhausted each other. Like, they were so tired. And I felt tired watching them, how tired they were. And they started going in the second half of the fight, rounds 3 and 4, they started going more to the ground. But it made sense, because they were so exhausted. But they were still trying. Dustin was hitting him at every chance he got. He was landing flush. Hooker showed a lot of heart. He tried to choke him out a few times, but Hooker was constantly getting out of the submissions. He was trying to submit him a bunch of times, but he couldn't. I'm really happy. This was one of those type of fights that, the fans, nobody loses. Even though Dustin won and Hooker lost, he still didn't lose, because he still gained a bunch of fans from this. Whoever is new and they first started watching MMA and they started watching this dude, they would have become a fan of Hooker, because of Dan Hooker, because that fight was so exciting. Like, I want to see Dan Hooker again. I want to see these two fight again. I want to see a rematch. That's how good this fight was, that I want to see a rematch. I want to see both of these dudes fight again, because this type of fight deserves a rematch. I do think that the right guy won. I think that Dustin was catching him with the flusher shots. But man, that Hooker showed a lot of courage in there, and he showed a lot of heart. He showed a lot of talent as well, the way he was landing himself. I just felt that he was not landing the flusher shots. I think the guy who was landing the flusher shots were clearly Dustin. Dustin, I can't say his last name, but clearly he was the one who was landing the shots that were flusher. Because when he would land, you could clearly see Dan Hooker's head like snap back. I'm so happy I watched this fight. You guys should watch this fight if if you're not an MMA fan. Watch this fight. Give it a chance. This fight was dope. Anyway, guys, I'm out. Thanks for watching.